Hello and welcome to my Neewer Q200 review. I've been anxiously waiting for a few weeks now to properly test out this new 200 watt strobe from Neewer. So I've been putting the Q200 through its paces, and let me tell you what I love and hate about it and how it fits into the Neewer ecosystem I have here, including the Q4, Q3 and Z2. So come on, let's get into it and I'll talk you through it. Before we go deep into this review, I need to tell you two things first. Firstly, Neewer did send this strobe out to me for this review, but I was not paid to review the product, and these are totally my own thoughts on the Q200. And secondly, I should also say that Neewer have given me a 21% off discount code, which I have in the description below. This works worldwide on all their products, including the new Q200. I've been using the Neewer Q Wireless ecosystem extensively in my work for over a year now, and I actually did all the product photography for this book with the Neewer Q4 and Z2 lights. I am super proud to say my amazing wife wrote this book, and it's available in all good German bookstores. And yes, it's a cookbook, it's an Irish cookbook in German. And yes, if you buy it, we do make money out of that. So thanks again for supporting us. So just to give you a quick idea of how much work actually went into this book, just to give you an idea as in how much I've used these lights over the last year or so, this is just a very fast run through of what's inside in this book. And as you can see, there is a massive amount of work after going into this. There's tons of photographs. There was tons of locations we shot on. And yeah, it just, the Q Wireless Pro system just worked beautifully for us. And yeah, that's basically it. Getting back to the Q200, let's pop the box open and see what you get inside. And inside the box, we get the case. And inside the case then, I'm going to show you what you get. And let me just pop this open here now. Inside the case then, we have the Q200, we have the battery, we have the mains charger, we have the charging base, and we have the metal bracket. And there is also a really nice touch. There's also a space down here too as well for the wireless Q receiver, which is something you need to buy separately. Now you might actually be able to get the Q200 with the wireless transmitter. That option could be available very soon. It could actually be available now by the time I've posted this video. This is the actual battery. Battery just plugs into the charger. Plug that into the mains. It takes 3 hours to charge it up completely, and that's it, you're done. Take the battery out, and what you do is you slide the battery then into, sorry, right way around, slide it into the light, and you hear a nice audible click. If I release that again, pop it in, and there we go. Nice audible confirmation click. I always love hearing that because at least you know that definitely is locked in there. So this is the Q200 flash here now, and I'm simply going to run you through how to set it up and how to use it. So I'm going to pop it down here, and the first we're going to do is switch it on. You switch it on by pressing the power button, and then unlock comes up with the thumb wheel symbol. So I just slide this over, and it unlocks the light. The light is now ready to be used. You can see the big red light is after coming on here. That means it's ready to flash. So if I press the button, and it recycles. So whenever you see that red light on, the strobe is actually ready. So what I can do now is, because we're set in manual mode, I can actually adjust the power back down along. So it's as simple as that. Just turn the thumb wheel to bring the power back down along to whatever setting you want. Now you also have options here as regards changing the group. So if I press the group button here, you can see we're on group A at the moment. If I press it here now, we're now going to group B, C, D, E, and then back to group A again. And then we can see above on top we're on channel 07. If I hold down that button, it's now on channel 07. I can adjust it here to whatever channel I want. I'm going to leave it on channel 7 now. And just press the button again, and it's set in channel 7. And then we have our modeling light here, and at the moment it's on full power here now. So if I press this button once, it's going to go to prop, which is proportional. So whenever I adjust the output of the flash, you can see the light down below is getting brighter. So that's really simple to do. And if I press it once more again, it switches it off. And if I press it again, we now have manual control. And to change that, we just hold down the button, and brightness is there now at the moment, so I can adjust the brightness level. It's from 1 to 10 brightness levels, and if I press down on it, we can actually change the color temperature too as well. And again then, if I want to go back, I just press down on the thumb wheel once more and it brings me back. Then we have our menu button. Once I press that, the thumb wheel then will bring you up and down each individual one, and you can change, let's say we want to change the standby timer, I just press down the thumb wheel and then I can adjust the time delay for standby. I'm going to leave it at 30 minutes there now. I just press it again and that's it, it's set. The last button here then is the mode button. So that will change your modes. So we're in the M mode here now at the moment, but if I press the button, it'll now go to multi-mode. Press it again, it'll go to TTL, and if I press it once more, it'll bring us back to manual again. And that's basically it. It is incredibly easy to use this unit. And this now is the Q Pro wireless trigger. So you can see it just sits onto the flash hot shoe here, and on the side we've our main power on off. So if I press that there now, it'll switch on the Q Pro itself. Now the first thing you'll notice here is we've A, B, C, D and E. So there are different groups. So if I press group A here now, you're going to see it's going to highlight group A. And I can then adjust up and down the amount of power I want in group A. If I fire off the flash button here to simulate the camera firing off a shot, you'll notice it won't trigger the flash down below. And the reason why it won't trigger the flash down below is this is actually set to channel 9, whereas the flash is actually set to channel 7. So if I want to change that then, I just hold down this button and you see channel 09 is selected here now. And if I move down to channel 07 and press the button again, it's now stored. And when I press the flash, you can see the flash is now going off. So if I want to adjust the output power now of group A, what I do is I press A and then I just simply turn this control here and I can be up to 100 meters away, and that is going to adjust the output then of the flash. And I can also switch on and off the modeling light. You can see it's on here at the moment and it's set to 10, but if I press this button here with MOD directly above it, it will switch on and off the modeling light. But if I just want to set it for group A, which is the Q200, I can press the A button and then press my modeling light and it will only adjust that light. And then I can adjust the intensity of the light itself. So you can see the light is getting brighter there the whole time, and it's on number 10 now. So that's how easy it is to use this system. So what's exciting and what do I love about the Neewer Q200 strobe? Well, first off, we have 200 watts of power in a fairly small body. So if you need light on the go, the Q200 is great for that, as it packs a serious punch in a small form factor, even in bright outdoor scenes, once you can position the light within a few meters of your subject, of course. It can provide up to 750 full power flashes from a single charge, which is just completely nuts. So just think about it, at half power or at lower power options, it can obviously deliver far more flashes on a shoot, which means this is going to be able to keep the vast majority of people going, or keep them busy all day long. Now, on top of that, the Q200 also has a 10 watt modeling light with a variable color temperature of 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. It also has 10 brightness levels, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which can of course be set manually, or you also have the proportional option. So if you're using the flash at half power, this will actually then have the modeling output at half power too as well again. So I can talk all I want about recycling times, but I always believe it's better to show someone. I have the flash switched on here now. You can see the modeling light is on there now too as well. So that is really bright. It is set to proportional. So the flash is set to full power. So the modeling light is set to full power. But that'll give you an idea of how bright the modeling light is in this unit. It'll completely dazzle you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire off a photograph here now, or fire off a flash here now at full power. So there we go. And there's our recycling time. So roughly about 1.5 seconds. So I've it set to half power now. So if I press the button, I'm going to press the side of the button so you can actually see it when it turns red again. That's how long of a delay there is for it to recycle. But watch this now. Once I go down to 1/4 power here now, so I'm on 1/4 power, it's really nearly straight away. So I would say that's practically instantaneous. That is incredibly quick. And at 1/8 power now, if I press the button, you can actually see it. it's ready nearly straight away again. But yeah, that is incredibly quick. At 1/4 power or even 1/8 power, 1/16, it is instantaneous as far as I'm concerned. Yes, there is some level of recycling time, but for most of us, that is completely insignificant and it just works perfectly at that. The Q200 can also shoot at up to 1/8000 of a second with high-speed sync or HSS, which will seriously help you to combat those super bright daylight conditions. So you're no longer limited to a sync speed of 1/200 of a second in your camera. So yeah, it is really easy to use. The back LCD display is nice and clear. It's very easy to navigate through. There's nice space between all the buttons. All in all, very simple to use as far as I'm concerned. The Neewer Q Wireless System, which this light works on, has been bulletproof for me and my work. This system has 32 channels and it has 100 meters of range. So it's highly flexible. Then the really cool thing is you have the ability to set all the lights on different groups. There's 5 different group pairings possible on this setup. So you can set all the lights on one group and fire them all off in full power, half power if you want. Or you can also set, let's say, the Q4 to group A. You can set the Q200 to group B. And then on group C, you can have the Q3. And on group D, then you can have the Z2. And you can set each one individually at different output powers. So you can shape the light or sculpt the light the way you want it. And then when you fire off your shot, that's going to send a signal to all these flashes to fire at that specific output, and you're going to get the absolutely perfect exposure just like you wanted. And that's what I love about it. There are a few different types of diffusers then you can get to work for this light. So the first diffuser I'm going to show you here now is a small little Neewer diffuser, and it's a magnetic diffuser that actually just clips on onto the front of the Q200, which is very handy if you're facing this up towards the ceiling or something, you want to spread the light a bit more evenly and bounce it around the room a bit more. This will still give you a bit of a catch light, so that is really handy for that. And it also works too as well on the Z2 strobe. So that is a really nice, handy little gadget to have around the place. Now I'm going to leave links for these in the description down below, as well as model numbers and whatnot, so you can go off and buy one of these if you want to buy it, if you have one of these lights. The next modifier I used then was this fella, and it's a really large dome. And basically what happens is it actually just clips onto the front of the Q200, and what you do is pop this over and pull this back, so if I hold it straight, and there we go, that's set in place now. Now this light is very handy for a few different reasons, and I should also mention you get a few different adapter rings with this too as well, so it'll actually mount onto a standard speed light, or the round head adapter will also fit onto the Z2 too as well, so that is very, very handy. But the reason why I like this dome is because as the light comes out of the Q200, it's going to light up the whole globe and it's going to help fire it around the room and give you far more even lighting. But what you can also do is you can also shape this too as well. So if I push this back now, what you'll actually find is it's firing out at an angle coming out of the Q200, so it's only going to hit this section. So it's not going to fire out quite as widely, but it'll help diffuse it just fractionally. And then if you want to, what you can do is actually push this down like this. So it's like that now. So it's kind of a concave surface on the inside. So it's just going to soften the light coming off the front of the Q200. Or you can pull it out here, and then that's going to give you a slightly different effect again. So there's a multitude of effects you can get with this, depending on what you're trying to shoot and the effect you're trying to get. And this does work quite well. Now, as with any form of diffusion, the most important thing here is you have to remember it has to do with the size of the light source or the proximity of the light source to your subject. You can see that light surface is actually quite small. This is quite a bit bigger, so it's going to help soften the light a small little bit. But you can also get a bones mount adapter for this, so you can actually put standard light diffusers. If you want to have a softbox or an octabox or something, you can actually pop that on, and that's going to help soften the light again. Looking at build quality now, and as you would expect from Neewer, this strobe is really good. It feels solid and very robust. The display is bright and easy to use when out and about. The buttons feel very solid, and the thumb wheel for adjusting the output and settings again feels well made. The front metal ring is rock solid again. The battery then, if I just take that out, as I mentioned earlier, fits solidly in place with that nice audible click. But the whole body really is very, very solid. Genuinely, it's a really nicely built unit. And as my hand just goes onto it, I should say, that metal bracket, God, this is a solid chunk of metal. This could actually be used as a weapon. It's that solid. This is built to survive World War III, 4 and 5. And speaking of build quality, I have to go back to the carrying case because this is a lovely little addition to get with the Q200. That is really well made. In all fairness, look at it. That is a really nice bit of kit. It's really well padded. So your Q200, that's like a soft foam padding inside. So the Q200 is going to be fairly well protected inside there. And it's a really nice way of carrying it around. The biggest thing I don't like about the Neewer Q200 is its size. And it is quite a bit bigger than the Q3. So it doesn't really fit in your pocket anymore. Unless you have massive pockets, of course. But that was one of the things I liked about the Q3. It fits inside the camera bag perfectly. There's no problem from that perspective. But it's just the Q3 would actually slide into your pocket before. This one won't really slide into your pocket that easily. This is kind of a funny one now, but I would have loved to see the possibility of having USB charging in this. So you can actually charge the battery via USB charger. And yes, I know it is a high capacity battery capable of giving 750 flashes. So trying to charge that through USB probably would have been ridiculous. You could charge it from flat through mains in about 3 hours, or roughly 3 hours. Whereas I'm guessing if we're trying to charge that through USB, it would take considerably longer. So this now brings us to kind of a funny one, and it's overheating. And does the Q200 overheat? And the answer is yes and no, because after 60 full power consecutive flashes, and I mean firing off a flash and as soon as it's ready, firing off another one again, I did that in full power on the Q200, it goes into what I'd like to call self-preservation mode. And the recycling time slows down to approximately 7 seconds and the temperature indicator on the back shows up on the display. So it's there to preserve or prolong the life of your Q200, both for the electronics and also for the bulb itself. I would think if you're hitting full bursts constantly for over 90 seconds on a shoot, you need something more like the Q4 then. For me, I would consider that extreme use. It's a bit like getting a really small little car and putting a massive trailer on the back of it. Yes, it will pull it up that hill or up that road, but you're putting the car under a massive amount of stress and there is no need for it. So my overall review conclusion then is that using the Q200 has been a hugely positive experience for me, and I'm loving the high capacity battery capable of giving 750 full power shots per charge, and the bright 10-watt LED modelling light, and the large display too as well on the back, and it being super easy to use. So for me personally, it's a big thumbs up for me, and another great product from Neewer, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Now, if you have any questions, please do feel free to ask them, and thanks again for watching, and see you out there, or see you in the next video.